Good evening, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you the studies of international logistics. My name is Felipe. I'd like to invite you to subscribe in the channel. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like. Don't forget to support this channel with donations. Start the notification. Share this video with your friends. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Thank you very much. Add a commentary. Make your question. This speed results in fewer carrying costs for the owner of the goods. Also, the journey by air usually requires less packaging, resulting in additional savings. Even if the cost is not lower, the movement by air often considered to be more hassle-free. Aviation has developed during the century, with air freight achieving importance after World War II. Services provided by a variety of carriers, who often contract and subcontract among themselves. The majority of freight is carried aboard passenger airlines in passenger flights. There are also all-cargo aircraft flown by passenger airlines. All-cargo airlines, charter airlines, and air express service. Air freight forwarders play an important role in moving air freight. Most air cargo moves in containers that are shaped to fit inside the aircraft curved fuselage. The International Air Transportation Association (IATA) is a cartel made up of all international airlines. At times it establishes both passenger fares and cargo rates. At present its rate-setting ability is not very strong, and most rates are negotiated between shippers and carriers. In the past decade, several well-known U.S. air express services have expanded their markets overseas. This has been perceived as a threat by the traditional partnership of established airlines and air traffic forwarders. Land transport to and from ports, and to and from Canada and Mexico. Introduction. The first and last stage of import and export movement involved transportation of the goods between inland points and ports of import and of export. For bulk products, the loading and unloading facility may be located at water's edge in a port. However, for most shipments, arrangements must be made to hold the goods to or from port, usually by truck or by rail. More recently, intermodal transportation has become more important for international movements, although intermodal can mean any two modes. For international movements, one tends to think of containers transferred between ship and rail, and moved by truck between the railroads. International ramp and the cheaper or consignments. Nearly all air cargo movements are intermodal in the sense that truck and air are the two models involved. This chapter will cover movement by land between island points and ports, intermodal movements, and movement by land to and from Canada and Mexico. The majority of the discussion will deal with international movements. Some of the international discussion will include domestic movements. However, the technology is the same for either domestic or international moves, and the railroad container trains carry both domestic and international shipments. Intermodal land sea operation developed initially on domestic shipping routes of U.S. ocean carriers, trade between U.S. mainland and Hawaii or Puerto Rico. Ocean conferences, which control international traffic, were less received to the container movement innovation. Today, domestic and international intermodal movements cannot be easily separated, often the same equipment and routes are used for both. Indeed, much of the domestic market for containers was created by the need to fill containers that had brought in imports through a distance. U.S. port and now needed to be returned to the port, with the only shipment available opening to be domestic. Movements to and from ports. Choice of ports is discussed a number of times in this book. Usually, the choice depends on a combination of port facilities and service. offered by railroads and vessel operators. At a time when there was more structured railroad rates, rails offered export-import rates that were lower than rates for comparable domestic movements. The rationale for these lower rates was either that of marginal cost pricing or understanding that export-import traffic was more sensitive to transportation costs. In order to qualify for the lower export-import rate, the shipper needed to attach a copy of the shipment ocean bill of lading. Prior to 1980s, there was rate equalization between ports on which cost a shipper in the Midwest faced the same rail water port total cost no matter which route he selected. A shipper of tractor from Peoria to Copenhagen could have then loaded at Chicago, in which case the rail rate to Chicago would be low, but the vessel rate high. If the shipper used Detroit, the rail rate would increase, but the vessel rate would decrease by a like amount. If Norfolk were used, the rail rate would be higher, but again the ocean rate would be correspondingly less. Hence the choice was made on quality of service, such as frequency of sailing or free time. At ports, the number of days rail equipment can sit waiting for a ship without paying per diem charges. However, since the Starter Act was passed in the 1980s, the concept of port equalization has been destroyed and service contracts between railroads and shippers have disrupted traditional cargo routes patterns. Today, in the United States, railroads have more influence on the choice of port used. Indeed, the shipper may not make the choice at all. Instead, the loaded containers are trained to the traffic, and the railroad sends them to a port wherever where it makes connection with an ocean carrier. Traditionally, most island movements to and from ports were by rail, with truck uses for only short distance, say under 100 or 200 miles. An exception was sport shipments out of California, which might have been carried by truck for distance over 1,000 miles. The reason was that truckers wanted to come to California so they could pick up desirable hauls of agricultural produce, a simple interstate commerce commission regulation, moving from California into the Midwest. That pattern holds today. However, nationwide, it's believed that the railroads share of container traffic connecting with ocean vessels.